Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Voidtrain little guide today, showing you how to upgrade your actual train. There's not really much that shows you or tells you as you start this brand new early access game in terms of what you can do, but that's the whole point. You're meant to be able to add platforms to your train that you can put all of your crafting benches in storage. So let's go. FYI, don't forget to like, make sure you subscribe for the best in survival games content, and check out this game on the Epic Games Store. Use my creator code, which you'll find in the pinned comment section, JADE-PLAYS-GAMES. Cheers! So at various points you're going to come across special depots, and these depots are where you can upgrade. The first couple you'll only be able to get hold of a gun and maybe some random loot, but eventually you'll come to a depot that's got soldiers in it, and this is where you know you're in the right place to upgrade your train. Take out all the soldiers on the depot and then you'll be able to access the upgrade panel. So there's some things you need to know, which is pretty much keep some resources to get yourself the actual wagon. You can get the possibility that you'll rock up to one of these depots, you'll have spent all of your resources researching brand new crafting benches or upgrades, and you won't have enough to actually put a platform down and actually place some of the stuff that you're crafting. To upgrade your train, you're going to need the workbench level 1 and you're going to need the laboratory. Both of these workbenches will allow you to craft refined materials, and this is what you're going to need to add a second wagon. So once you've taken out all the guards at one of these depots, you can access this control panel here, and this is how you upgrade. You can see you've got a sort of health sign, you've got the hammer, then you've got an arrow. Click either the health sign or the arrow and it's going to pretty much just add a second wagon to the back of the one that you've currently got, as long as you've got the resources to actually craft it. So effectively you're going to need 4 iron ingots, 2 springs, 2 bearings and 2 bolts. You're also probably going to need 8 pieces of wood to make the actual wooden floors that go on the train platform. To make the bearings you're going to need a laboratory table where you're going to have to craft some grease, and that's going to require fat. So you get fat sometimes from shooting the small tiny little critters that come and attack your train, but the best bet is maybe to try and shoot one of the big large space whales. And you should probably have picked up a lot of the chemical resource already. So there, make your grease, then go ahead and make your bearings at the workbench. The springs and the bolts you obviously make at your workbench as well, and obviously the ingots you'll make at your smelter. So it's quite a lot of resources, and if you don't do this and make sure you've got these resources before you get to one of these places, you might have to wait until the next one comes along, and that could be like 2 or 3 depots away. I think it is slightly random gen, but generally you will hit a depot sort of every 3 or 4 kind of gates. And this is why I've done this tutorial, because I did exactly that. I upgraded everything that was in my research bench, leaving me no materials, and so I had to go all the way to the next one before I could actually add another extension. So you got your resources, go ahead and just choose either the arrow or the cross. Maybe they mean something later on, but I haven't actually found any differences. No matter which one you do, it adds a wagon to the back of the one that you've been using. And then after this you are going to have to come out of that control panel and then go and put the wooden platforms down, then come back to it and then rearrange some of the driving mechanisms if you want. So by now you should realise that if you hold the T button, it will actually switch it over to either the hammer or the crafting construction mode, and that's what you want, the construction mode, to put the wooden platforms down. Once that's done, you can go back to the control panel and you can start moving things around. So if you click on constructions, it looks empty. Just make sure you're clicking on machinery, which is the hammer sign, and then just place the driving mechanisms anywhere you want. You can rearrange it and put them absolutely anywhere, any kind of way you want, as long as obviously it works for you. Obviously just give yourself lots of space. Now I say this because you cannot remove any of the crafting benches, you probably realise by now, unless you're willing to lose some resources. When you dismantle one of your crafting benches that you've got, you maybe only get barely half the resources back. Ain't gonna lie, I was pretty salty to work this out. Luckily I saved the game and I reloaded it a couple of times, but that's what you should know. So maybe use the second one that you upgrade for your driving mechanisms and storage, or make sure, yeah, you're definitely leaving lots of space for your next crafting batch of stations. And there you go, that is how you upgrade your train at each one of these depots. Once you've killed the guards, access the control panel and make sure you've got the resources beforehand. This might not even be a great guide for players who've been doing it with their friends, because it's probably a lot easier, but playing solo, yeah, you run out of space a lot, so you're going to need lots of storage, at least 2 chests maybe to hold everything in, and make sure, like I said, you've crafted the components you need for later on. These depots are kind of a bit of a waste of space at the moment. There's so many canisters that look like it should have more loot in, and some of the canisters that normally give you loot don't always give you loot. So good to have a look around. You will maybe find a few resources, and obviously use the tokens that you get from killing the soldiers in the special machines to get more resources as well. The prophecies, you don't need any kind of coinage to pay, you just automatically get one whenever there's one here, but these ones you'll find at every single depot. The prophecy ones there are not all every single depot, only some of them. And there you go, just a short little guide about upgrading your train, some tips about the depots and what resources you're going to need to upgrade. Hope you enjoyed the video. Go and check out the rest of my Let's Play content on this game, and I'll be back with more detailed guides as soon as I get more done. Until next time, laters.